Bitcoin is ripping to the upside, just hit resistance at 30,000. Now remember, 30,000 to 30,500 is your key level of resistance. I looked at the 30,000 area to 30,500 on Bitcoin. By the way, look at what Ethereum did. Ethereum pierced 2,000 recently, right? It took out that previous high barely and then sold off.
Gareth Soloway, the chief market strategist at In the Money Stocks.com, recently shared his insights into the future of the stock market and beyond. In his predictions, Soloway gave his outlook on the performance of Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, and banks. He also identified a resistance level of $30,500 for Bitcoin. Soloway believes that the decreasing value of the US dollar is driving the demand for Bitcoin and other precious metals. Following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, First Republic secured extra funding from the Federal Reserve and J.P. Morgan Chase. Recent industry developments have significantly affected net interest income and net interest margin due to the substantial loss of deposits and higher funding costs.
As of March 31, 2023, deposits were down by 40.8% from the previous year-end.
To mitigate the impact, the company received $30 billion of time deposits from leading U.S. banks. Gareth Soloway believes that if Bitcoin manages to maintain a price above $30,500 for 5 to 7 consecutive days, it could signal a potential low point for the cryptocurrency. However, Soloway remains skeptical and views the current market rally as part of a bearish trend with more risk assets likely to decline in the near future.
When FRC, all right, First Republic Bank, when they basically had their earnings announcement, they came out and said that, hey guys, we lost 40% of our deposits in the last quarter. In addition, we saw essentially our business stagnate. All right, that was not what Wall Street wanted to hear. 40% is a bigger number than Wall Street expected. And then to add on even insult to injury. All right, this is the kicker, guys. First Republic, FRC, they basically did not take any questions from analysts in the conference call, and they just said, done. And they walked away 12 minutes after they started that earnings call. All right, to me, all right, now remember, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all these big banks gave them $30 billion to shore them up. All right, this was a couple months ago when the banking crisis occurred. And for them to just say, hey, we're not even going to take any questions, that is not basically, that's not uplifting to the sector. And so that stock got pummeled yesterday. And as soon as you saw it down 40, 50%, Bitcoin began to uptick and it started to go better and better and better. Now, the bottom line is, as an investor, this is all inside of the levels. If we look at the chart on the daily chart here, let's go to the daily. So what we could see here is this is your 30,500 level. That is essentially your line in the sand. Like I just said, 30,000 to 30,500, that's what you're keeping your eye on. If we get above 30,500 and we close, you want a daily close, and then you want multiple days, I say 5 to 7 days above that 30,500 level. Now you have a confirmed breakout and you likely could head higher. Aside from that, be very skeptical of this move, because if the banking crisis does not get worse, this resistance at 30,500 to 30,000, that could ultimately end up being a top, and we still could see Bitcoin moving back to the downside. Think about how many people jumped on board on Bitcoin when it pierced 30,000 thinking it was a breakout. Yet ultimately it dumped out, took a lot of them out. Now it's retracing back up to that level. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on that. If we look at Bitcoin, by the way, it has pulled back off that 30,000 level very slightly, though, trading back at 29,850. All right, so again, we know 30,000 to 30,500 is resistance. That's really all you need to know. Remember, a technical trader doesn't care necessarily whether it's where Bitcoin's going in the next 6 months or 3 months or even 1 month. It's where's the resistance near here where I can tell if it's going to go higher or pull back.
Ethereum, like Bitcoin and numerous other cryptocurrencies, previously relied on the proof-of-work protocol to safeguard its network. This involved extensive computations performed by computers to mine new digital currency and validate transactions. Gareth Soloway made a comparison between Bitcoin and gold, both widely considered as stores of value, while Ethereum and silver are viewed as having more practical applications.
This upsloping trend line, a beautiful upsloping trend line. This is the key point. Now, one of the things I want to mention here, look at how Ethereum is not at the recent highs like Bitcoin is. What does that tell us? It tells us that Bitcoin is your pure play when the banking crisis is going on. Sure, you're seeing a bit in Ethereum, but it's not the same magnitude that you're seeing in Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a pure play. Always remember that in 10 years, 20 years with Bitcoin, it's the pure play, just like gold is the pure play. If I had to put it in comparison, I would say Bitcoin is to gold as Ethereum is to silver. All right, think about that. Think about how silver doesn't really go one for one with gold because silver has an industrial side to it plus a store of safety. Gold is just a pure store of safety. So kind of a cool little concept to think about. Bitcoin equals gold. Ethereum is equal to silver when it comes to investing. All right, so watch this level around 1960 on Ethereum. That is going to be a very pivotal level here. Let's see if we get through that. All right.
According to Gareth Soloway, precious metal will surpass its all-time high of US $2,075 and reach a minimum of US $2,300 by the end of the year. He also believes that gold could potentially reach US $5,000 in the next 1 to 2 years. According to Gareth, the down-sloping trend line in silver suggests that there could be a pullback in prices, which could create a buying opportunity for investors who want to purchase silver at a lower price before it potentially rises again in value. Gareth believes that if the US dollar experiences a breakdown, it would align with the narrative of a potential recession in the second half of the year. This breakdown would serve as an indicator of economic instability and financial uncertainty.
Gold to me continues to be in a sideways consolidation pattern. Ultimately, this is the beginning of bullish consolidation that will lead us through the all-time highs on gold. But I still think you're due for a pullback to around the 1900 to 1915 level. If I zoom out the charts, and this is all charting again, just letting the charts dictate to me. Short term, we're extended. You just need a pullback right in this range, about $100 on gold. Then I think you bounce off of that and you start making new all-time highs. You break through 2100 and you're probably headed towards 2400 by end of year. Now, if we look at silver, let's take a look at silver here. Silver, same thing, extended. See this downsloping trend line? That's where you're looking to pull back to. That would be a buying opportunity. So again, I remain midterm bullish on gold and silver. Near term, I still think they're a little overbought. They got to work off the recent move. The dollar, again, which is adding fuel to the fire today to Bitcoin and the metals, is down. Yesterday, we had a sharp move up on the chart. Today to the downside. By the way, I ultimately do think the dollar is going to go lower. Doesn't mean it can't bounce in the short term, but I want to show you this trend line here. If we bring up this trend line, look at this. Look at this right here. All right, drag this line out. All right, now you might say, okay, that's support, and you're correct. You are absolutely right. This is support. But the methodology that I teach tells you that the more you hit a trend line, the more likely you are to break down through it. So here you hit it once, 2 times, 3 times, and you're on the verge of 4. Usually by 5, you're in the borderline 50-50 that you could break through it, 50-50 odds. All right, remember, everything I do is probability-based, just the nature of it. So what this tells us is that if you keep hammering on this line, eventually the dollar is going to break down. Okay, when it starts to break down, what is that going to tell us? Well, it fits right in with the narrative that I've been talking about, that we likely see a recession in the second half.
As First Republic is now on the verge of collapse, Bitcoin represents a safe haven versus uncertain bank deposits. Gareth Soloway has predicted that the current price level of Bitcoin at $30,500 is highly significant, describing it as an epic level for the cryptocurrency. This concludes our discussion for today. What's your stance on Gareth's prediction about cryptocurrency? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this content informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for the latest news and videos. Thank you for joining our discussion.